Welcome to Word Blindness, Dyslexia Exposed. I am Juliette Hahn. I'm here with my co-host, Brent Sopel, and we are here to change the narrative. We want to educate, but we also want you guys to understand what it is like to be dyslexic and how things can change. So join us every week for Word Blindness, Dyslexia Exposed. Welcome back to Word Blindness, Dyslexia Exposed. I'm Juliette Hahn here with my co-host Brent Sopel. How are you?
Hi.
Okay, so today is last episode. I don't know if this is gonna come out next week or it's gonna come out the week after, because we're coming up on the end of the first season, which is really exciting. So we promised everyone that we were going to go back and really dive in. But if it was two episodes ago, we were like both kind of in like a spot, and we like weren't giggly, and we were just kind of like just whatever. It wasn't great. But then it really turned into a really great episode because we got into like why people don't talk about dyslexia. So this one, we have gone back and forth, but we are going to take you back to, and I know we've touched on it, right? Because we have touched on it, like how we met and all of that. But we're going to really go back, and I'm going to do my best to poke this guy as I'm pointing to you, to really talk about where we both were at the time that we decided to start this. So it was a year ago last week that we recorded. We spoke in length It
was a year ago last Wednesday, right?
Yep.
So that was the 20th.
The 20th.
Yes, it was exactly a year.
Yeah. Okay. So that's when, but we had talked, the first text, I think I sent you.
Did you go all the way back to that first text?
It took me a long fucking time. I'll tell you that. I was like, oh my God, it's like hour. The first text, it was me saying, it was so nice talking to you. And you were driving from Texas. So that was May of 2022. Is that wrong? 2023? Oh my God, I'm so bad with this. I think it was 2022.
2022.
So we had a conversation because Stuart put us together to talk about your dyslexia. And
remember how long that call was?
I feel like we talked for like 4 hours.
Yeah, it I was going to say 2, but it was for a long time. Yes.
It was a really long time. And I remember being like, wow, that was a really deep conversation, which I go deep. Anyone that knows me, I go deep. But it was in a crazy, I think Montgomery had fractured his pelvis already. And I was not in a great space with him in school, or we were like, because I think it was his sophomore year. And
so, let's touch on something quickly. Do not I never even think it's deep. I just think it's normal.
Yeah, no, just long. I should say, like, we really connected and really talked long. And yes, you're right. I wouldn't say, because I don't usually after a conversation say that's deep, but it just was like, I felt like I knew you. That's really what I should say. I was like, oh my God, I feel like I know this man like for my entire life.
And I mean that, people are like, oh, you like to go deep. I'm like, and so I get it all the time. Buddies like go for breakfast. I remember with Tim Doyle, we went deep quick. I'm like,
that's real.
Yeah, just normal. Just I don't really see deep.
Yeah. No, you're right. And I shouldn't say deep because I don't usually say that, but it just was like a very comfortable conversation that we went, but you definitely brought things up that I remember getting off and being like, oh, okay. I don't want to think about
I'm good at that. I'm really good at those.
Because again, I was like, I think I was worried about Montgomery at that time for no reason, just like a parent worry, like, what's going to happen?
Did we talk about him fracturing his pelvis?
So I don't know. I don't know if it was before that or after. I think it might have. I don't remember because maybe not because he might have fractured it right after that or right around that.
I think it was after. Now we're actually verbalizing. I think it was right after. right after you came down, and when you started
Mm.
harassing me and pestering me and stalking me
to be on the podcast. Yeah, let's put that out there. Like single white female. No. Yeah, no, but yes. No, but yes. No, you're totally right but at that time he was really struggling in school and it was like after COVID and it was like the teachers still were all effed up and I was just not, I was like pissed off at a lot of things. And just worried like, okay, how can I support this kid? I think it was more of like a mom thing. And then you responded like, yeah, that was great. Let's stay in touch. And then I think you texted me and I was at a family reunion and then we didn't talk. And well, I texted you back. I was like, I'm at a family reunion. Let's definitely connect when I'm back. And then we didn't until March of 2023. So
look at you in the math.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Well, because I mean, I literally have 1,000 screenshots because I didn't want to forget because I did this because we didn't record last week. So the thing that I found really, really interesting is, okay, so I'm going to go back. First of all, I have I mean, it's a lot, but I had the notes. And the thing that was really funny is in the beginning of this, not only did I say to you, like, we were learning how each other kind of worked, but you definitely were not like letting me know that you're like, yep, no, you could put it in there. I'll read it, but whatever. I literally have like 30 paragraphs and I must have just been voice texting like crazy because I was excited, right? Because you had said yes. You first said no. I mean, and which we've talked about on the podcast.
Yeah.
I said to you after, I think it probably was like 2 days later. I was like, hey, have you ever thought about doing a podcast? I know this sounds really weird, but I can't stop thinking about you and the and your
was that
foundation.
because that was on a Wednesday, right?
Mm-hmm. It was a couple days later.
It was after the weekend, I think, because you flew back. Did we tape Wednesday?
I think we taped Thursday.
Thursday. So then you flew back Friday, and I think and then it was the beginning of the week, Monday or Tuesday when you. Hey, ever thought about a podcast? Absolutely not.
No, well, you said people have asked me. I just really haven't given it much thought, and I said, okay, well, and I voiced it, so I like even have the voice messages, and I basically said, I don't know how this is going to come across, but I can't stop thinking about your foundation. And the thing that's really interesting is I've always been in this world, obviously because of my dyslexia and my kids.
Yeah.
But there's times where I was really pulled into the world more than others. And it was at a time where I was feeling like I was not missing something because I was doing like my business was growing. I was in a really good spot. However, he wasn't in a great spot in school and I was frustrated and I was really pissed off and frustrated and like, how can I make this better? Like, I don't know what to do. So it was almost like, okay, Brent has this foundation and he has all this knowledge. It would be great if we could just like help other people on a mass level. And so that's where my thought was. But then I remember, and we talked about I got like, and I don't usually get nervous, but I was like, wait, I have any podcast I've done, I know the podcast world, but I haven't had like a co-host that we're so different in ways. I mean, we're so similar in ways, which is really funny, but we're also very different in ways. And I was like, how is this going to go? You know what? And then that's when I started yoga. And so that's what's crazy. I started yoga and did all of this stuff at the same time we started. So it's like one of those.
You're into your yoga.
I'm what?
You're a year into your yoga.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now it's not working anymore. And I just had the most frustrating because of my hip wouldn't go. But yes, I was a year.
Well, I wouldn't say it's not working. You've got some other things you need to get aligned and taken care of.
Yes, my hip is fucking jacked. But yes, it could be other stuff. But that's what was really, really cool because you were also in a space that you had just moved into your apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
You were at the rink. That wasn't great. Like you were frustrated at the rink, really frustrated, but it was good at that time. I feel like at that time it was good that you were.
Yeah. I was it was better than where it ended up, leading to. So, yes, it was probably the best place of the better place at the rink at that point in time. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you were excited about it. And so you were happy you were in a good space, which um when I asked you to do the podcast, at first you said no, and we talked about this because and maybe we didn't talk about this on camera though. You were really worried, like, what am I going to need to do? Like, am I going to be like, can you take us through that a little bit?
Yeah. That point in time, just when we met, I ended up, had a solar company that I ended up having close, um, pretty much was getting an apartment, was the first time I had my own place in a year and a half. And if it wasn't for, my buddy, I was homeless. I lived a few months, um, probably 3 or 4 months living on the office floor. A little gym mat and a little blanket and pillows. So lived in that office because I couldn't afford anything else. So I was I was excited to finally have a place. I just had another business fail because life after the game hasn't been easy, and the rink was at that point in time okay. You know, a lot of in any world, egos control, and where I was at Hoffman Park District, it's probably some of the most egotistical people I've ever been a part of, and I was really struggling with that. But it's really as much as I was struggling, I was in a better place than I ended up being, and
Mhm.
it's crazy how we can look back. It's a year that we connected. It's a year that um, your yoga started. So it's been a year of transition, healing,
And growth.
growth, regress, intertwine. All those kind of terminologies and um, words that can go along with what this last year has been. Journey wise for both of us with
Mhm.
with the kids, with both our both our sets of kids to um, losing jobs to up to you getting your big promotion to your job.
I mean, it's really been crazy.
It's been a hell of a year.
I mean, it really has. And the thing is, one of the things that you talked about with the solar company is that you didn't have the support. If you had the support, it was like everything was on this system that you were like trying to figure out, and you were doing great things. I mean, you were hiring other I mean, and what do I always say that? NHL players. Sorry.
Yeah, now.
NHL players. And you had this really, I mean, it was a viable thing, but there was like, there were so many broken parts of that you were navigating that you didn't have the support and help. And that's where it comes to so many things. You can do you as people, we can all get to a certain ceiling. But when we don't have that kind of like, okay, also is this our path, right? Like the things that we
Mm,
learn in there, and then we hit the ceiling, and then it's like, okay, what's happening? But things are hard when you're trying to, transition out of the league where you don't have support there. You had no understanding with your dyslexia. So it's like, okay, the things are simple, that are simple to others are so hard for us. And I mean, that's where you go, like, with vet tech. I mean, Danielle just and I were like literally this weekend, we were doing some work, and I was saying to my husband, the fact, and it was everything that you've always said. It was just a really interesting thing because I said, thank gosh that we do have each other. When I tell you, I have the way we connect on, okay, she's like, okay, I need this, like, or here's some ideas, right?
yep.
Brainstorming, brain dump. I have it in 2 different Instagram accounts. I have it on Voxer, I have it in email, I have it in text, and I have it in somewhere other place. But I can handle that.
Yeah.
There's times where I go back and I'm like, wait, crap. where did you send that to me? So I screenshot it a lot of times so I can go back.
Yeah. Go back.
And
Find
the
it.
same, right, with me, with her, it's like, okay, we have all this stuff that we got to write, put it down on paper, and then we'll send it to Clay, who will be able to. But like, if I was in a position that, because I'm really technically supposed to be the one that's writing it, right? I mean, if I didn't have that, I wouldn't be successful. And one of the things that I've learned in the last couple, I mean, I think it's the last couple weeks, not learned, but I really keep saying to myself is I was hired for a reason, because this position has challenged me in certain ways that I was like, oh, this is uncomfortable. Okay. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't want to grow anymore. I feel like I'm really good. Why do I have to grow again? And you're in a very similar spot where it's the same. It's like you're growing in so many things, and you can't grow in the comfortable. We grow in the discomfort. I mean, and that's why you have really, I mean, the things that you're doing, but again, the vision that you had with the Sopel Foundation for Dyslexia way back when, the things that we have, the meetings that we have this week and next week and through, I mean, it's so incredible to see, but it is a slow going process, and you get your ass kicked. I mean, you're getting your ass kicked daily, just being like, okay, is this dot connecting? Is this dot connecting? So really to go back and see, some years I feel like we just glide. I mean, and this year for both of us, I mean, that podcast has been so healing. I never even thought about it as being healing for me. Never,
Right.
I really did not think about it as being healing. And it has been so healing and so incredible, more than I ever expected. Like the expectation that I put, just do it. I'm going to let you talk because I really
No, but it's, and then coming off obviously last week, we had 2 NHL players commit suicide. One of my fellow teammates, Chris Simon, committed suicide. So I'm coming off the heels, of that of last week, and and it's it ties into what you're just saying. Everybody is talking about CTE, the brain damage from hockey. There's a little bit of it, absolutely. Not saying there's not, but there's no support, there's no help, there's no transition. They just kick you to their curb and don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So I keep saying it's life after the game. There's no help. I've sold protein bars to chips. I can go on, but leading into what you just said about Danny is, and that's why the foundation is and always will be so big for me, is that we're different. Just like I'm in the hockey world, a pro hockey player, people don't understand that. Oh, they all just want to talk about the CTE. All want to talk. No, there's no support. We've never had a job. We've never interviewed. We don't have a resume. We don't have work experience. We don't have anything. Now, dyslexic, if you're not supported in the boardroom with your crazy ideas, which you normal people think they are, then what do we have? We don't have that. We have nothing. Like, you and Danny work together so greatly. I've watched it from my own eyes. How you can support each other daily through through the visions and through the growth of the websites that you guys are doing and the amazing things you're doing. If you guys didn't have each other, FedTech is good and amazing products that it has and what you guys are going to do. The company would be nowhere near where it is right now, today, at date, if you guys didn't have each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's it's really interesting to think about. It's just, again, it takes it back to the word you always say. It's the understanding.
It's, for you, you've got things in 65 other places, right? Now, if you hand it to Dan, it's amazing. Dan be like, fuck you want me to do with this? What, like,
I think most people would be like, wait, what? I mean, because we have this app, it's called Voxer, and it's one of our favorite things. everyone in my family hates it. And actually, now her daughter hates it too. She's like, "Oh my god," because we will literally, it's like a walkie-talkie.
You want to explain everybody what Voxer is, because I had no idea. I thought first off, I thought you were talking about your dog's boxer. When you're, yeah, you want to use the boxer? I'm like, no, I don't want dogs. I'm no dogs. Fuck dogs. And then you're like, no, the Voxer. I'm like, what? So I want to tell everybody what it is first.
Yeah, because here's the thing, because you and I will jump on a call when we need to brainstorm. I mean, there's days sometimes we'll talk like 5 times.
Yeah.
But you're okay with that, and I'm okay with that. There's other people, like Danny's running all these different directions, so she can't jump on a call because she's doing things. So it's VOXER. It's actually one of the best things because it can be free, but you can also have a paid service. The paid thing is that you can transcribe. So she can send me and it's basically a walkie-talkie. It's like a voice text, but the voice text goes away. We all know, like all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, I wanted that. And it like goes away. You can star it. You can I can take the note. I mean, and again, that's one thing. I'm going to get Brent using the notes in his phone. Which I know you probably won't, but still, you said that I was allowed to teach you.
Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did.
So I will transcribe it and then copy it and then put it in my notes with the title. And then that's where I can go back and look for it if I need. So it's like a really good, useful tool, because if she's telling me, if we're talking on the phone, but she's like, hey, can you make sure we do this? I can't take notes. No, okay, fuck, wait, hold on. What do you want me to do? And I'm writing and it takes me forever and I'm slow. Thank God that it's her, because she gets it. But if she leaves a Vox, it's just easier. I'll do the same thing to her, be like, okay, I have this idea. She'll have it. Now, the other reason why we also use that is because, and we talked about this, some of our other teammates don't want things in 50 things. They like things organized in their 365 we just got a whole IT, like we just went through like training. I was like, oh my God. I actually was fascinated because I was like, oh, this is so cool. But I'm like, oh my God, it's now another set of things that I can like be organized with and have organization in 10,000 places. But we can leave them a message and they can transcribe that because they need to see it instead of hear it. So it's that understanding that you talked about, that's one of the things, that's one of the layers of the foundation, right? I mean, it's important for the neuropsych to get the kids tested, to have the understanding early so they have the self-confidence and all of that. And then it's next layer of like, okay, how do we get businesses to be like, okay, let's make this work, where, again, 2 episodes, the last episode, wherever this is landing, we talk about how there's some people that we're friendly with that don't want to talk about their dyslexia on a podcast because they're shameful. And we're like, wait, what? And it's all of that. So the fact that when we started this, and again, I pushed you because you were like, no. But as you said, it was like, I don't know what you're going to ask me. I don't know you, and I don't want to feel dumb, and I don't want to be like, oh my God, she's wanting me to write something. Just like if I had a different boss than Danny, well, I would be, my anxiety would be through the fucking roof.
Yeah.
And so when I just said to you, and I did that again, I mean, we talked about that. It wasn't like I said it because I knew that that's what you were feeling, but just for me, I was like, actually, I have the picture of you setting up your microphone and you're like, I think I got it. I took pictures of, okay, this is what you did. I sent it to you on Amazon and was like, all you have to do is buy this. Because I said, we want to have good sound. Like there's a couple of requirements that I want. You just have to show up and have good sound.
You love your sound.
It's a sensory thing, I think, but whatever. But that was, and you said, all right. And it was actually really cool because one of the things that I screenshotted, it was like, okay, here are a couple of days. Here's like first podcast. And I have like 10,000 exclamation points. Because I also tried to voice text you, I think, and you were like, I can't, it's lost. I don't know what you said. And I was like, all right. So I text you more than any other person because I usually voice text people but I call you if I need like to get something off.
Yeah. No, we talk. Yeah. Sometimes it's, 5, 6 times, 7 times, because then once I was at the rink, I was kind of, in those meetings, in meetings, I could read your, could figure out what you're texting.
Yeah.
Boy, voice text wouldn't work, but, right. I'd never heard of Voxer before until you said it.
You don't have it. You don't need it because you would be tortured with it.
It's, well, it kind of goes to the point of, I've never ever heard of anybody else mention that app, so it works great for you guys. Awesome. It's going to work great for other dyslexics, but nobody ever talks about things.
Right. Right.
As we do, we're not, no, we're not supported. We're not understood. So many things like why, if it works so great for a couple of dyslexics, why isn't it out there more? And that's what comes down to to the purpose of the foundation is get that information out there, get that understanding, get the want to be understood. It's, as you said, Dan and many others would be like, what, quasi normal people, we don't operate like this. Like, what the hell are you handing me? But we operate like this. We hand it to us how we need it. It's the understanding. That comes back to all this, and it's crazy how much understanding we've gotten of each other, of this world, of each other's paths, of our families' paths. Trips to plane rides to lost to
no, it's been a really it's been a really interesting world. And I've said this, like, people don't come into your lives for no reason. For no reason.
Ooh.
I don't know why I said no reason.
No.
No reason. I don't know why I threw two no's in there. I was going to say for no. Well, I don't know what I was going to say. Anyways, but for not, there's a reason. Not everyone is a big reason. But there are people that if you allow, again, like if it's like sometimes you meet someone, and I said to you, I was like, this was crazy to me. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to help so much, but I also didn't want you to think I was crazy. And I didn't want you to think that I didn't have good intentions. I was like, this is not, I want to help. Like, I want to give back because I believe so much in what you're doing. I believe in your mission. I believe in everything that you say, and I believe in your vision. And I think when I said that to you, and I was like, I think if we just put together and just talk about it, I think that it could be really powerful. And every time we put an episode out, we have new people being like, I just listened to all your thing. I think I'm dyslexic. Okay. Holy crap. Or that really resonated with me. I didn't think about it that way. Or how do I get my spouse on board that's not dyslexic? Like, I'm trying to get my kid tested. There's so many also more topics and more things that we have to cover that, it's a really beautiful thing. It makes me laugh to think of all the stuff that's happened in the year.
In a year. So now let me ask you a question. Now, when you went all crazy on me, wanted to be, do a podcast, did you think we'd be finishing season 1? Did you think we'd have this many episodes? Did you have a goal in mind?
No, and I love that. Because as I said to you, that I remember I went into yoga and I was like, okay, why are you fucking stressing? Chill out. I was like, I had hormone. I came into this fiery hormonal, like it was a very interesting time, and I worried about my kid, right? There was so much going on. That I was like, I'm not going to have any expectations. I also didn't want to put pressure on you. I didn't want you to feel like I said yes and now I don't have a choice. And I've said that to you how many times? Like, if all of a sudden you feel like I think this is done. I'm done. I don't feel great about it. I was like, I want you to be honest. And that was one of the voice messages that I left you, that I was like, if we can be as honest with each other in this kind of voyage, whatever we're doing, the better this is going to be. Like, we need to be very upfront. Like, if you're like, wait, I didn't like that. Or if I'm like, hey, I'm feeling like I don't like where this is going. I want it to go this way. I literally was like, I'm not going to put any expectations on it. And I felt so good about that I was like, let's just see where this goes. Like, we might get 5 or 6. Okay. So no, I'm not surprised, because once we were in it, I knew that, and the messages and the help, and then also the healing in the space. So I'm going to now turn that on you. Are you surprised?
I don't even know. I don't even know how to answer that. If I am or not. Expectations. Obviously, I had none, and this kind of counts with my life. I was, the old people like, oh, hockey players just have the cliche answers, one game at a time, one podcast at a time. But I truly can't really live much further than that
Right.
with how fucked up my life is. Right? I can't live truly much further than that. So to be at episode, what are we finishing off?
30, I
35?
think. Well, 35 will be the new. So I think we're at 33 or 34.
Yeah. Like, see, I get lost after 20 because then I got my hands and my toes, and I'm like, oh, now where do I go again? But it's been an amazing year. So am I surprised? Yeah, I guess more probably surprised that I've stuck around for the year.
Yeah.
It's been a long year. Um, as you always say, you know, I'm not vulnerable. There's places that I haven't gone. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. I've had a lot of fucked up shit in my life, and there's still places I've got to go, and still places that I hide from going. But the one place I'll never stop going, is anywhere somebody needs me.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned something. I was in Cincinnati last weekend, or Thursday and Friday, and you know, I came home and slept for 48 hours. That was my exhaustion from last week, from from Chris, killing himself to that trip, to everything else that gone on. So long and short is I'm more surprised that I stuck around than anything.
Now, do you think you stuck around because you didn't want to let me down, or do you think you stuck around because you saw the purpose of the podcast, or it was like, oh, this does not work, I'm enjoying this? Like, can you take us through a little bit of that?
Yeah. I think it's probably a little bit of a lot of different things. Obviously, enjoyment. Yeah, I enjoy our conversation. I enjoy our banter. I enjoy how we help each other. You talked about growth. Um, God only passes messages in negative ways, right? So we don't grow in balloons and big birthday cakes, right? It's always that. Yeah, it's always the shit, right? That's when you grow. And
Mm-hmm.
I obviously the messages that we can continue to get from people, that keeps me, that keeps us, keeps me coming back for more. Meaning, we are really making an impact.
Mm-hmm.
My documentary I called here to change, called it Here to Change the World, because I always felt I was. But the message that we get back from people, it is pretty special to actually see the impact that we are making on individuals' lives, or families' lives, or school districts, or whoever that is. It obviously does feel good, but means we're doing something right. And in a world where it seems like we're doing most things wrong, it's nice to feel like you're doing something right.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I mean, and as I said to you, I mean, I remember there's been a couple of times, where I've either had a rough time or you've had a rough time, and it's like, you okay to record? We don't have to. And I mean, you've always been like, no, I want to. And because I do, there's no, I think neither of us put any pressure on each other in
Mhm.
this. It was like, let's just see where it goes. Let's
Yeah.
see. And again, we talk about God's path or the universe's path. Like, we knew if this wasn't meant to happen, just like, that you were not meant to be at the rink. I mean, that was like a giant screaming at you, right? I mean, it's like, you are not supposed to be at the rink. Get the fuck out of the rink. Get the fuck out of the rink. And then it was just like, okay, we're going to force this because you're not getting the message. That's how I really try to live life and not put pressure. There's times, right, with kids and stuff, I forget. And then I get all anxiety. Oh, wait, shit. Let me take my own advice. Let it go. And so I think that has been one of the things that's been like starting Monday, knowing that even if it's a tough conversation we're having, it's been a great conversation because not only is it helping us in the conversation, but then the messages, as you said, of people just being like, I mean, we just had someone that literally is like, I listened to every single one of your episodes. I think my son and I are dyslexic, and they listen to, 1 to 32 in a weekend.
Yeah.
And that is not the first time. Go ahead.
That's a lot of listener voices.
That's a lot of us. That's a lot of us.
That's a lot of us. But, I always say, everybody comes in your life, for a reason. Not everybody's meant to be there forever. Mm-hmm. Some people are for a short time, some people are a long time, but there isn't a time where I don't enjoy our conversations. And sometimes as much as they fucking sucked, there's a purpose. And I think you and I both grown a lot. I don't think we understood when we started this that we'd grow personally as much as we both have. I think the purpose was to get the information out there to you listeners to help you grow. But in turn, we grew a lot ourselves.
Now, do you think that is one of the reasons why it was successful and it's been successful for us? Is because it was like this healing that we didn't kind of anticipate.
For sure. Obviously we talk about me being sober. I don't even know how many days it is now.
I mean, and that's the thing. I stopped drinking this year too.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah. So today is 2,767 days, 66,394 hours. But it's
congratulations. I mean, that's huge.
Do I want to drink every day? Yeah, absolutely. I love to do drugs and drink because guess what? Then it takes away from these feelings that we're talking about right now. Right?
Yeah.
But they always talk about in recovery is helping somebody. You internally you're helping yourself more. Mm-hmm. So I obviously heard this for 6 years, 6.5 years, whatever it was before we started this. But did I think that? Absolutely not. No, obviously our passion and purpose, as we talked about.
Oh, look at
you. My purpose is to help anybody. So that was my first 100% and first and foremost, my only focus was to help whoever could. In turn, we helped each other 100%.
Mm-hmm. And again, I'm going to take it back to that beginning. I do believe that people meet for a reason. And as you said, sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter. And I'm going to go a little unicorny here. But I do believe in some level of like souls, persons, like and I don't want to say past and future lives and stuff like that, but I do think that there's a bigger connection sometimes with people. Again, I'm not
going to going on with the moon today. Is there
I think kind of moon? Well, I think Mercury in retrograde is going to be coming up, and Capricorns are the most affected, by the way.
Oh, geez. Couldn't tell that by the last couple of weeks of my life. Huh?
Yeah, that's the pre-shadow. Yeah. And again, this is what's really funny is I know this stuff, but not really. I know like such top line that since Brent and I've met, I'll be like, wait, this is happening in the moon. And but you're a sensitive soul. You're a sensitive soul. I'm a sensitive soul. There are things that, like, as I've gotten older and I've had friends that like are really into astrology and moons and stuff like that, they've pointed things out and I'm like, oh, that's so interesting. You know what? That is totally me. And then I'm just like I like to know a little bit about it. Like, hey, there's a lot of shit storms happening. What's happening out there? There has to be something happening in the universe because what the fuck is happening? And then I find out it's like, there's a shitstorm happening up there. And I'm like, okay. And you just have, it's the way you approach it, right? If there's a shitstorm above there, it's a ton of energy. And if you're affected by that, you have to, which you totally are, which you are like, I don't know about, like.
I've never heard about this stuff. I've never thought about this stuff. Never knew this stuff existed till you came around last year. So,
Right. And now you're a little bit more aware of it.
Did you buy tickets to this lunar eclipse or thingy that's
didn't.
coming?
No, I didn't. But I saw the first one, which I feel like my mom and I were like, didn't they say that doesn't happen every 100 years? And I feel like that's what I mean. I know top line stuff. So this one must be different than the one that happened like 10 years ago, because my kids and I, we're at a vineyard, had some bubbly, and we watched the sun eclipse. It was my mom and my sister. We all went. And that was very cool. But so this is going to be something different, right?
I don't know. I don't care. I don't give one rat's ass about this goddamn eclipse thingy. All I know is I saw somewhere that some schools are going to have it out.
Yeah, I did see that. My mom told me that.
What the fuck? Now I'm just going to get angry.
Yeah, the Long Island is not doing that. New York doesn't play those games.
Oh, it's a goddamn fucking moon and sun, I think, or maybe the stars and sky. I don't even know what is going on. But you know, for Remembrance Day, Remembrance Day is in Canada, Veterans Day. You guys, how about let's fucking, we're here because of people who fought for us. Like, you're gonna take a day off for that bullshit. That's just me.
No, I know. I hear you, though. I hear you. It is. I mean, it's, again, as we've said, the world is definitely cuckoo.
Somebody said, I guess it was TV. It's they're selling out football stadiums for tickets, and all the hotels are sold out. I'm like,
oh, because of the best place to go see? Where is that?
You just can't look up. Who gives a shit?
I don't. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. I don't know anything. My mom was like, "Do you know that's happening?" I was like, "No, I don't." Because I don't listen to the news. I really don't. I try not to. I try to stay clear of that, because that stuff affects, like, the negative part of the news really affects me, and then I'm like, I can't do that. No, but it has been an awesome year, and I'm excited to see, again, no expectations where the rest of this goes, but the fact that we know it helps people, the fact that we enjoy it. I think, again, there was no expectations. I wasn't, I said to you, like, listen, it could slow grow. There's so many podcasts out there, so much content. If people want to hear us talk, which, again, it can be entertaining, because we are, we have deep conversations or real conversations, I should say, not deep. And then, sometimes we have really silly conversations, which happens kind of a lot of times in both.
And it's interesting, how many people say that we go deep. What is it? I'd like to know what they mean by that.
We talk about feelings and our own feelings, and how, like, people don't want to talk about that. People, again, thinking about and doing this also, even though I feel like I'm very in touch with a lot of stuff. Again, I said, I am for the most part pretty sane. I mean, I know you can.
Wow, the wheels just fall off the track here now. Did you just call yourself insane?
I mean, in the real, like, if you think about, I know we're going to talk about my dog's testicles. We should not talk about that. They're golden somewhere. We'll just say that. Okay. No, sane meaning that, like, I have a grasp on reality, like the rights and the wrongs and this and that. Like, yes, I'm cuckoo, but I have the grasp on the rights and wrong. But people don't like to talk about feelings. People don't like to talk about their their weaknesses. They don't like to admit, like, if they're wrong. I mean, and it is an interesting kind of segment when you go out from, like, the people that you collect, because, again, this is such a cliche thing, like the people that you surround yourself with are really, but that is, I mean, when you have negative or angry or real shit people around you, and you're the son of it, you're going to get dragged down at times, right? You're going to get dragged down. But if you do hang out with people that have goals and have missions and have like things they want to do in life and, are just not sitting on their ass complaining and being like, whatever, you're going to get brought up. All right, I'm going to stop there and let you finish.
What was that?
I don't know. Just like fucking, shit people.
But I used to say that 95% of relationships are all fake.
Yeah.
Which they are then. So we're the 5% unicorns.
Yeah.
Seriously. That's interesting. Now it's got you think because we always talk about classrooms, right? We're talking about dyslexics, right? We always think about classrooms, 20 or 30 people. How many are dyslexics? How many ADHD, dysgraphic? So now, how many of them? And now let's take that classroom and put that into an adult life. How many people won't talk about their feelings?
There's I have girlfriends that sometimes say to me, "Oh, I don't want to talk about feelings anymore. You're always talking about feelings." And I'm like, because you fucking need to talk about feelings. You're fucked up right now. And they will be like, "Oh, Jesus, but I don't want to." And I'm like, okay, that's fine. You don't have to.
And I've never really ever thought about that until this last year. Obviously, you've opened my eyes to to a lot of things, and I never really thought about that and how surface level a lot of people are.
A lot of people are surface level. Lots.
And how not fun that is.
Mm-mm.
Because below that surface is just that turmoil. And I know the pain and the shit that I've gone through last 47 years, it really hasn't stopped. But this last year, I tried to. When I stopped one turmoil, it stopped for a little while, and then I had something else. That's just kind of the way nature of the beast has been for me. But it's sad that so many people live that way.
It is sad because, as we said, it's the stuffathon, right? It's people stuffing things that they don't want to talk about. And they don't want to talk about it because they don't want to acknowledge, but there's also a lot of people that maybe have tried to talk to some people and they get shut down because the other person's they don't have the capacity to handle it. Right. I mean, and we kind of laughed about you tumbleweed dyslexics. I mean, I really, there was a period of time, which I always have, I kind of attract people in a friendly, like wherever I am, I always make a friend with someone. Right. I mean, that's just my person. I just talk to people. However, I do have boundaries. So I know when someone doesn't want to talk, but I usually just connect with someone. And it is a very interesting thing as you grow as a human, as you grow as a person, as you grow as an adult, you grow in age, you grow in all these different things, to look back and think about friendships. I still have my friends that I grew up with that, they knew me from when I was young. And then there's periods of life that I've had that I had really good friends. College, I don't really talk to my college. I went through a lot of shit in college though. And I look back at that and I'm like, yeah, Jesus, college was I was taking, that's when I realized I was attention deficit. I started taking meds. I stopped playing sports. Everything I knew, I became like a student. It was I'm sure it was this whole crazy. We don't even need to go down a lot of those paths. But of course, I didn't stay connected with a lot of those people. A lot of those people got married right out of college, where I was going to New York City and I was like, I'm sowing my oats. This is fun. I want to continue. And it wasn't stuffing because I wasn't stuffing, but kind of exploring this new, I'm good in school. I don't suck at this. I have other things that I'm good at other than just sports. And then, it turned into, let me see what jobs I can get and let me interview like a crazy person because I'm going to make this a game.
Fucking insane.
But think about it. Think about the times in your life and the people that you did connect with. And then at a time, it's like they were in your life and then they're not. And what was it? Nothing really bad. It just, we went in different directions, but it's sometimes in the times of your life that maybe you're not as secure in yourself and you're running into people that are like not as in control of themselves and they don't want to like get into conversations like,
Well, it's
deep
funny.
conversations.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. See, that's one thing I never had.
Right.
I had 40 years of pro athlete, right?
Yeah. So like,
Didn't have that. I didn't.
yeah.
On my team, I wasn't connecting with this guy or that. It didn't matter. I wasn't.
Right.
that was it, right?
Yeah.
So it's funny, just listening you say that. It's how different that my path has been.
Because of it.
Yeah.
But then that's what sucks. And that's what makes me so angry that then like you got kicked to the curb and it wasn't like, hey, let's give you some support and let's figure shit out. Where, as you said, you're figuring shit out when you're 40. You're trying to make, a living that you did for your family. And there's no one there to be like, okay, let's do this. Where when you're 20, you're supposed to be a shit show. Right? I mean, you're supposed to be like, let's figure this out. I mean, I had some fun in New York City. I look back at it though, and I'm like, ooh.
I bet you did. I can only imagine. Riding a little bike or something?
Oh, with my Susie.
Yeah.
Her dad got her that one scooter
yeah, you two doubling up, Susie.
She'd be on my back. Yeah. Yep. And we would literally be on the West Side Highway in like the middle, going down, blasted. Yeah. I would take her, drop her off at her house, and then I would go back to mine. Yeah. I mean, the fact that we were never like run over or picked up, whatever. Yeah. No, yeah. We had good times. But just, I mean, everyone can remember. But all of my friends that I went to college, they were all getting married and having kids. And I couldn't wait to be a mom, but I was like, I'm not gonna be a mom now. Fuck. I need to get this out of my system.
Well, that's that's why what did I have? 4 kids and vasectomy before I was 27.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
Today, y'all, my youngest is 20 today.
Happy birthday.
20.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's crazy. And you're younger, right? Like my oldest is 18, right? I mean, it's just, yeah, you lived a different life, but you also said you were looking for a relationship, right? We talked about this in other episodes. You were looking for a relationship, like a family, when that's what you were craving. I don't know what I was doing back then. I don't need to talk about that. What I was doing, what I was looking for. But it is, I mean, you're
looking for yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
You're looking for yourself, trying to understand yourself. And here I am being 47, almost, that's what almost the last year was for me.
Yeah.
Minus 27 years. I think that's what the math works out to be. Step difference, but
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, it has been good. And I have to say, I'm just so thankful. And, first of all, for our friendship. I mean, it's crazy that we've only known each other for a year, or really now, like the first conversation,
Yeah.
So like a little bit more than a year, but, because again, it feels like I've known you for a lifetime.
Well, I wouldn't even say I classified a year because this is we had a couple quick conversations about dyslexia and things like that, but nothing grew until after a year ago last week.
Yeah, but I just wanted to say thank you for saying yes. Thank
definitely
you for being
a TV. What is that? Definitely a TV show. What's it? Say yes or what is?
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, but seriously, it. You didn't have to, but you were like something inside of you were like. Either you were like, she's fucking not gonna go.
If I don't say yes, she's never gonna give up. So I might as well just fucking say yes.
She seems like a persistent one there. Yeah, and you're
normal. She's not insane.
Well, right, but here's the thing: you're like, she's dyslexic and ADHD. I know where this is gonna go. I just gonna need to say yes, and we'll see where it goes.
Well, didn't we talk about how we're going to try and stay on track
Oh, yeah.
One of the very first podcasts.
Well, I think that was one of my also concerns. I was like, I know I'm really good at this, but like we could go off in 1,000 tangents, but I know how to bring us back. Like I know maybe if this was my first podcast, oh for fucking sake, it would be a shit show. Oh my god, it would be a regular person's nightmare. I mean, my husband would probably listen to like a half of one and be like, "Oh my god, there's the squirrel." It ran by 1,000 times. But so that was one of the things I said to you. And that's why I kept sending you notes being like, okay, these are the topics we should think about. I want you to get the topic in your head. And then it really never did, but we have been really good. I mean, we've been really good with staying on topic. I mean, it hasn't even been like hard.
No, we haven't gone. You and I usually go down a rabbit hole, off podcasts. We'll go down some rabbit holes, but we've been pretty good staying above the rabbit hole while we were taping.
Yeah. No, because we're good. But you also, I mean, you have experience in speaking, I mean, for your whole life, I mean, so, and I've been doing this now since 2019. So it's like we had the experience to be able to stay on track. And I know, I'm sure there's some listeners like, I can remember episode 12. You were old.
Yeah. If you think you're staying on track, you're out of your fucking mind.
We always wrap it up though. That's one of the things Danielle, when she first, and I mean, any of my podcasts, she would always be like, and my friend Christina, who is not dyslexic, but she would say, I'm just fascinated. You always seem to come back to it. She's like, how do you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. I think it's the way my brain works. She'd be like, I am shocked. She's like, I'm like, oh, where's it going? Oh my God, she brought it back. She brought it back regular. But that's just from practice, right? I mean, that's just because I've been doing this. But no, it has been a wonderful run, and I'm excited for season 2 for what we're going to do. There's going to be little changes, but it's still going to be the same. We're still going to bring people to talk. We are going to have some segments of non-dyslexics. One of the ones that I'm excited about is a homeopath talking about how homeopathy actually can help ADHD and some sensory stuff, which will be great. And all of that. And we got to go because we got our panel. I mean, it's supposed to be at 12:15, but I think others are thinking it's 12 because I'm getting texts. I think they think we're late, but we're not. It seems like no one got the memo. So let's wrap
Nobody
it up.
got the 12:15 memo.
Yeah, even though I sent an email. So we're gonna wrap that up, and again, it's been wonderful.
No, it's been amazing. Can't believe we're at whatever it is, 34, 35. Looking forward to the next 30, 35, whatever it ends up being.
Yeah. I mean, it's exciting. All right. So I'm going to say it: like, review, rate, and share. You do not know who needs to hear this. Seriously, someone might be like, has listened to all of them and just didn't know the background. And stories connect us. They really do. When you hear the stories, you kind of just feel a little bit more, whether it's like, I want to listen to these crazy people more, or, you know what, I've had enough. And either's fine, but share it, because you don't know who actually wants to hear us and who we can
Probably
really
nobody,
help.
but maybe just the message, not us, but the message.
Exactly. All right. So we will see you guys for another episode of Word Blindness, Dyslexia Exposed.